marketing, lead generation. Does this cause one of these moments for you? Maybe you love it like I do. Come and join us on Uplift today. We've got Rich here to talk about catapulting. G'day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Uplifting Conversations that set your heart on fire. Whether you're watching this live or in replay, know that we appreciate you. Hi, my name is Sarah Wade and I'm co-host for today and I'm a social media coach. I love what I'm doing. I'm enjoying my new hairdo and being a part of the amazing chat that we are in today. Hey, we've got our usual co-host today from Calgary out in Alberta, Canada, Mr. Neil Thrussell. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Sarah. And yes, I love your new hair color as well. As Sarah said, my name is Neil Thrussell, and I am an author, mindset coach, and I'm really excited to have Kat Rich on the show because I want to know whether we're catapulting Kat or whether she's going to teach us to catapult our leads. I was excited both ways.
Let's get medieval and bring Kat Rich out. Kat's coming to us from the States. She's an amazing human who helps real estate agents get more leads, but more on that later. Welcome, Kat. It's great to have you here.
Thank you two so much for having me. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. And thank you guys for hosting this amazing show with so many fantastic guests. Yes, also, Sarah, I love your hair color as well. And when I was putting on my earrings, I thought I'd just wear the funky ones to be a little funky here with you. Because I know you're super artsy, and I thought you might appreciate those.
I appreciate you. I didn't bring my bicycle, knowing you're a lover of all things exercise. So no, mine's out the back. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, it is great to have you here. I can see you've got something behind you. It looks like some sort of system. It's like, do you know stuff or something? Like, what's going on there?
It's every time I'm on camera, I see it in my background, and it's a reminder to me. So I'm talking about the phrase on the top here, and it's that all you need is within you. And I know you're talking about the diagram as well, but every time I am on camera, I'm also remembering that as well. But yes, I do have a diagram here, and this is it's the catapult method to catapult your business. And it's not just leads, it's not just one thing, but it actually goes deeper into the person where when you up level your business, you actually up level your life or uplift your life as well.
Ooh. I wonder if anyone here in the audience has ever up-leveled or uplifted their life experience. And if you have, please drop us a comment. Let us know what's your experience. Well, we've got Kat, as I mentioned, she's an amazing human. She's got information on so many different things, and I know that she's a big fan of ClickFunnels. I know that she's a lot of things, but I'm curious to know from the horse's mouth, how would you describe you right here, right now?
Oh my gosh. So right here, it's like every day I'm growing so much. I have, in business as a person, and, I just love watching what you do. And I'm just overjoyed and so full of gratitude for all of I'm always seeing you out there posting reels, posting great stories, and you're always commenting on my stuff. I think if you do anything else, you're always on social media being active and so supportive. But right now, I'm in Tampa, Florida, and I am a lead generation coach, helping real estate agents to up-level, uplift, catapult their business. And
yeah.
we do this.
I think everyone can do this move, right? Yeah.
Guitars up there. Yeah.
Love it.
And you know, when you add movement to your energy, it does something to you. It changes your state. It makes you energized. It's like that champion's pose, you know, when you stand with your hands on your hips. But yes, yeah, I'm a lead generation coach for real estate agents, and I haven't talked to you guys about this. I've gone through a little bit of rebranding, and I am I'm teaching the agents content funnels. Now, the content funnel is really been the thing that has been the game changer for not just real estate agents to help them, but actually for my own coaching business to actually catapult into the next level. This is my level up.
Can we back up a second for people who don't know? What is a funnel?
Oh,
you stole my line, Sarah. It's on the script. That was my line.
So a funnel is basically, it's a step, like when it basically is a sales cycle. It's basically a sales process. What the process is that the people that you want to work with you will go through to get to know you and then progress on through the levels. And it's called a funnel because there's a lot of them, and there's a few less, and a few less, and a few less, and a few less. And then the ones that get to the bottom, that pop out of the bottom of the funnel, are the clients. So that's why it's called the funnel. But it's really a sales process. And I think, in my mind, it's a circular sales process, because you've got the lead generation, the lead nurture, the lead, the fulfillment, and then you have to keep in touch with them and just keep them cycling through. So that's a great question. What is a funnel?
So I suspect that even though you're specializing in real estate people, that let's say I'm just starting out. What's one thing that I must do or could do or should? I don't get hung up on the word should, but lots of people do. So what's one of the first things that I would need to do to catapult myself to success?
As a real estate agent, or are you asking as a coach?
I suspect the first stages are similar in any way, and if they're not, well, then educate us on both. But you can work with real estate as an example.
Yeah. So with real estate, so the most important thing is not just making posts, right? Because posting is not marketing, but to actually make posts that are targeted at a specific type of person. And you know, with coaching, I mean, you guys are fantastic coaches. I mean, Neil, you said mindset coach, and Sarah, you are social media coach. So you're not just a coach for everybody. However, especially for real estate agents, a lot of us get into the business because we want to help everybody. We just want to help people. But the thing that is actually the riches is in the niches. So the riches are in the niches, or the niche, which is really figuring out what you want to specialize on. Who is actually your target audience? And to actually narrow down in real estate, you could choose a niche such as like, I specialize in condo sales. I specialize in finding investors VRBO, so vacation rentals by owner, or like find them a house that they could do that, or Airbnb. And so that would be a niche that then you could target to a seller to get their attention, to give them value and show them that you're their one. And this is the magic of being able to market organically. And this is the marketing, this is the message, this is the value adds that you give to all of your content. And by tailoring it to that type of person, you're able to elicit them and bring them out of the woodwork and actually get them to comment, post, comment on your posts and engage with it. And when they do, algorithms of whichever platform you're posting on then start seeing, oh, it's this type of person, and then they show your content to more of that type of person, and then more of that type of person. And then this is you go viral. When you've got your messaging really dialed in and targeted, you can start to go viral.
So
Awesome. Makes sense, Neil.
I gotta have a niche, and then I gotta have a message. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What else? What else do I have? I gotta have.
You got to have a funnel. And what I mean by that is, what is going to happen when they do this? What's their next step? After they do that next step, what is their next step? And so this is the process. It's basically a sales process. I don't want to call it a sales process because a lot of people feel like salesy and not great with sales. As long as you've got a process for them to go through, that is the main part. Because ultimately, we want to get them on a call with us. We want to actually find out what it is that they need help with so that we can help them.
Yeah, I hear you. I know when I was choosing real estate agents recently, as you described, it was great to look at the various real estate agents in the area, figure out where they specialize. And then from there, I could look at certain stats about them. And same happens with coaches and all sorts of people online, social media. We've got the opportunity to dive deep and look at people, look at their branding, look at their personality. Do I click with them? Are they going to be able to sell to the person that I'm hoping that they sell to? And I'm absolutely stoked with my real estate agent at the moment, just saying. But without him concentrating on everything that you've just mentioned, Kat, I wouldn't have found him. So I think that's important to highlight. We're putting ourselves out there is so important.
I love that you brought up branding because it's a topic that I think it can go two ways. You can go really deep into it and spend a lot of time on it, but not do it well, and think that you're doing it well, but not actually do it well. And then you can go to the other side where you are actually doing it effectively. And I think that that's a great point that you put out there, that you found your real estate agent because he was really on point with his branding. And branding is, we'll just clear this misconception up because a lot of people listening are probably thinking, oh, colors and logos and things like that. And that's not the brand. And that's like an element of it, I guess, but that's like a secondary element. The main element is who you help, how you help them, what problems you solve. That is the brand. And when you can focus on that part of it, that is going to get you further than any fancy colors or logos.
100% agree. One of the first things that I get my clients to do is look at their branding, not in terms of colors and fonts and the like, as you mentioned, but who am I as a person? Looking at what your gifts are, and maybe even consider things like brand archetypes, because then you can figure out who you are more and how you could share that so you're more relatable. It's kind of like when you use a metaphor with people, you're sort of zooming out so that they can focus in on something that's specific to them. Is that how you guys see that too?
Yeah, so I love that you mentioned brand archetypes, and that is part of how we do a lot of the storytelling. We've broken it down. There are 4 main niches for real estate agents. And if you fall into one of these, you're going to be more successful. And so this is kind of how we break it down. So we've got some real estate archetypes that go along, and we can fit into those categories as well to be even more powerful. Like, what are the things in life that would cause somebody to need to sell a house? That would be one of the life events niches that a real estate agent could go into.
Yeah, is that so things like someone's died in the family, or things like, I'm about to have a baby, I want to up level, or my kids have left home, I don't want to be in this massive house anymore. What else would you add to that?
So we have a list of D's. It's like diamonds, diapers, divorce, death. When I lived overseas, it was deportation, but it was all of it was a line of D's. But yeah, exactly. It's like inherited houses. It's like a job loss would be debt. You could.
So this is wonderful, but I have to ask it. So you were born with this knowledge, or did you learn by the school of hard knocks?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because thank you, Neil, for that very insightful question. Obviously, not born like this, right? Because, I think when I started as a music teacher, I was an elementary school teacher. I was teaching music, and that was really what my life was. I was all about writing musicals. I was all about working with kids, teaching instruments, but I always had this feeling kind of in every time I would have a success, it would be short-lived. I'd be like, oh, is this all there is to life? Is this it? And it was like, I had gone through regular school and then gone through university, and then I went into teaching school, and I just felt like I was in this hypnotic rhythm of perpetual school year. So at one point, I was almost 10 years into being, maybe I was 9 years into being a teacher. I started having an almost need to get out of it. And this is sort of where I went through this crisis of trying to figure out what I'm going to do, where I'm going to take this. And I started reading all of these books, and one book opened my eyes to the power of real estate. And it was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And that book.
Everyone knows there's a straight line between music teacher and real estate. Everyone knows this.
Right? It was reading this book that was the catalyst to everything after that book. So there was life before and there was life after. And that book was a slap in the mindset. And it was such a paradigm shift to see life through the lens of the author who wrote that book. Anyway, I got into real estate, and back to your question, I thought real estate was just looking at houses, selling houses, helping people. When in fact, there are two sides to the real estate business that you don't realize when you first get in. There's a very romanticized, if you've ever seen some of the Netflix shows like Selling Sunset or the HGTV or any of these other shows that glamorize real estate. You think that this is the life of a real estate agent, when in fact, most of an agent's time is spent doing marketing, lead generation. However, at least in the States, there's not really a whole lot of support around that aspect of it. So when I got into real estate, I thought I was going to be looking at houses all the time. I thought I was going to be talking to people about renovations and flips and and all of the things about buying a house or selling a house. So for my first 2 years in real estate, I really had no idea what I was doing. And this is really where I started doubting myself. I had so much head trash going on. I was thinking like, oh, I'm worthless. I don't know. Like maybe I should have just stayed as a teacher. Maybe I should have just, what am I doing thinking I can get out here on my own? And it was just failure after failure after failure. And this is the struggle that, that when a lot of people go through, you get to this point and you just think, how does anybody do this? How do you actually make it beyond? How do I get clients? How do I get leads? And what I found when I was in this point, I just kept thinking, out of all the thousands of agents in the United States, it's like, how can I be the only one struggling with this? So of course, I'm online, looking up YouTube University, looking up all these things. And what I found is that, there's really not much out there. And I also found out that 87% of real estate agents don't make it past 5 years. And what that means is that 5 years, yeah. And when you first get your license, you've got 2 years before renewal. And what they say is after you get your first renewal, they're like, as soon as you get licensed, while you're in your first years, they say, do your continuing education right away. And what that does is it bumps you up to now 4 years. So at the end of 4 years, if you hadn't done that first education, you'd probably give up after 2. But now you're up to about 5. And this is the single reason that most agents even make it. That's why they have this statistic. So I found out doing all of this searching, I'm not the only one doing this. There's 87% of agents still make it beyond the 5 years. 87%. And that is 1.7 out of all of, there's like 2 million agents in the United States. Okay, 2 million. 1.7 million is 85%. So it's like you're not
freaking numbers.
Right, it's crazy. It's crazy. And so it breaks down, I did the math, it breaks down to about 52 agents per state who are successful. 52 people. 52 people per state in America. That is
300 million people there. That is a very low number, right?
Yes. So how is it? So then my next thought is, Neil is on silent.
Yeah, Neil, you're muted, mate. I love your passion, though. How good was the arm stand? Oh,
I know. I saw his hands. I saw his mouth moving.
Oh, no. Neil,
no.
we've lost you. All right, well, while Neil plays around with that in the background, I wonder if you can relate. And if so, are you one of those 52 people? Let us know.
And yeah, good. Yeah, and this is, and also not just the 52 people, but the point that I want to drive home is that when we are not successful, especially me, I don't know if this happens to other people, that I start doubting myself. I start getting a lack of confidence. I think, what is wrong with me? Why aren't I able to do this? And this is all of this head trash that comes in here, and it's not productive, but it is the habits that I had developed. And you got Neil back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay. What I was saying, when really passionate about, is the cream of the crop. Like any industry, they've got to really want it. And it's like to be the 1%, which is probably, well, the 13%, 87%, you said the 13% of successful real estate, you really, really must need to want it.
Right. I'm glad that you said that, because, and oftentimes, and there's no lack of the want. And one step further than the want is actually getting systems and structures in order to make that possible. And that is part of the thing that is lacking. It's the systems, structures, and a guide to take the agents through these systems and structures, tools, and accountability. Because if you're anything like me as a music teacher, you didn't have to develop this internal motivation, drive to keep yourself on schedule day in and day out, be disciplined. No, I always had a job that did that for me. I didn't have to do it for myself. Or I had parents or I had school, or I went to school. And so this was a huge skill that took me time to just get myself together so that I could even, wake up at the same time every day, journal, document, and all of these different just internal personal growth in order to be a business owner.
So what was this hunger, this drive that got you from recognizing you as this real estate agent needed to do something? What was this drive that was in you? What do you think it was? You liked eating? You wanted to travel? What was it that moved you from this normal, the average struggling real estate to willingly to take in and do more? What do you think it was?
Good question. Thank you, Neil. What it took me was going from this very low place and surrendering. Basically, I had just given up. And I said, you know what? I'm out of ideas. I don't know what else to do. I remember that day I sat down on my bed and cried. And I'm full of ideas. I am enthusiastic. I am a people person, which I thought would be enough to get me through in real estate. Not quite. So, it was at that lowest point with all that head trash. I said, I just don't know what else to do. I sat down, had a little cry, and it was the next day. It was the next day that I got the phone call. And of course, when I got the phone call, I wasn't thinking about my cry the day before. It was an agent I had met, a top producer on one of the houses that I had gone to. She was saying, you know what, you're really great with people. You should come join my team. And I thought, tons of head trash. I was like, I don't know what you want with me. I was like, I can't generate leads. I can't do anything. I'm no good. You don't want me. I'm not going to help your team. She's like, yes, you will be fine. Come on to our team. So finally she wore me down and I joined her team. She's like, you know what? All you need is tools, systems, accountability, and some structure. I thought, well, I didn't think that's what I needed, but turns out that's what I needed. And it was just that mentorship she gave me to help me do the things that she said to do. She helped me do them. So not just giving me directions, but actually helping me implement along the way. Goal setting, showing up, tone of voice when I talk to people, and all of these different elements that go into being a lead generator. And that was the thing. I didn't even become a real full-blown agent with her. I was just the lead generator. I would generate the leads and set the appointments for the agents. Now, this was so at the beginning, obviously, I was struggling for about 2 years before I ever met her. After I met her, she got me on her team, and then it was about 4 months until I started seeing traction. And then by 6 months, I was one of the top or the highest source of business on the team. So out of the 13 transactions we had, I was responsible for 8 of them. And this was all during the housing shortage of COVID, when the listings were at their all-time low. I was producing listings, 8 every month. So that was mine. That's actually a really high number for agents.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that you had a great cry, you surrendered, and somebody witnessed the greatness in you that you couldn't see, and in spite of that, you took this step and trusted and surrendered.
Absolutely, yes. And I don't know who it was that was watching, but it took the surrendering in order to be gifted this new opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm assuming at some point there was that age-old question, is it happening to me or for me? Were these the sort of things that were going on in your mind, or had personal development not yet kicked in for you at that stage and you weren't aware of that nuance?
I wasn't aware of it fully at that point. I had done a little bit of unintentional personal development just because I did a lot of overseas travel. But at this point, I hadn't really discovered personal development or extreme ownership and taking all of my personal power back yet. Great question. I didn't realize how all the pieces fit together when they were fitting together.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw a testimonial of one of your clients recently, and I loved that she said, you had all these experience in real estate, but you could also be a life coach, and you mentioned at the beginning you have so many skills, and I want to bring the audience back to the fact that, yes, you can have all of these skills, but as Kat mentioned, you know, knowing your funnel, once they're in the funnel, and then they can utilize those skills. So I'm assuming she had some questions in life that she needed some help with, and you helped her through that, which also was cyclical and helped her business. So personal life and business life obviously are connected, and you were able to marry the two together for her, and she was able to divorce that old story that she wasn't good enough and just absolutely thrive. So is this a common thing for you and your clients to experience?
You know, and I think there's a huge, exactly, great question. That is a thriving from where you started from. And a lot of people, you know, growing up in normal society, you go to school and then you go to university, or you think you need to go to university, you think you need to get the degree, you think you need to get a job. And that was totally me on that path, having a job, going to university. I was doing all of the things that I should have been doing, paying my bills, you know, and so coming out of being a music teacher, I thought that, you know, the circumstances around me was what I needed to complain about. And that was what everybody else did. So that's what I did too. And I just was around the average of the other teachers there, because that's what my situation was. So I didn't really discover the personal growth part until I became a different person on that real estate team with that top producer who brought me there. And she was one of the first ones, I think she was the first one to really say, to talk about the extreme ownership. Now, I don't remember the phrase that she called it, because she didn't call it extreme ownership. She didn't call it living at cause. She called it something else, but I don't remember what it was. But it was the same idea.
So fair to say then you borrowed her belief in you to get to where you are today, and now that you're propelling other people forward in that same way?
100%. I had to borrow her belief in me because I didn't have one in myself at the time.
So yes. I noticed that you had said that you had this belief, and I'm not picking on teachers, but as a teacher, you had this belief in society and you had the complaints. So now move over to this version, the successful version of Kat, a different version of success. So Kat, you have a different version. What is your circle of influence and friends like? So what are you complaining about now? What's different?
What's different and what am I complaining about now? It's actually funny. I've started doing an evaluation of the different parts of my life and found that most of my friends, most of my connections are online. And so I've been putting a lot more effort into making friends in person, out in actual Florida, instead of just my friends in Australia, my friends in Canada. And I love you guys are my people. I mean, if I have a question, I mean, Sarah, you and I have talked about a lot of things. And
yes, we have.
100% somebody in my corner, and I'm 100% in your corner anytime you need somebody or to vent to. And by having, even if it's an online circle of friends, it's the emotional part of knowing somebody who's kind of can relate to the same type of business concerns that you're also going through. Your business is going well and you think, oh my gosh, how do I train more people? How do I hire more? Maybe it's not going well. Then you have to do an audit on your own feelings and where they are in relation to things that are happening around you. And so the professional Kat has realized that, you know, the teacher Kat, past Kat, would maybe have thought it was the student's fault that they weren't following directions, or would have thought that I don't know, that I had to do something because somebody else told me this was the way life was supposed to be. Now, designing my own life and actually moving forward with intention of where I want to go, what I want to make happen, has been the most powerful thing. Because once you realize that, once you honestly take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, look, you are the designer of your life. you can move forward.
I love that. That is a great share. And I'm curious to know, you know, when we like traveling the world, or even if we're in our local city, if we're going to meet a new person, whether that be a client or a new friend, like an actual I can touch you in real life kind of friend, Kat. Yeah. Sometimes we use our GPS, right? Like, you know, we don't know exactly where we're going. So we plug into a system and this tool figures out a way, a strategy of getting us from A to B. And is that kind of like how you're sort of holding the person's hand? Like at the start, they sort of have an awareness that they don't know everything, right? So they've reached out and found somebody who they assume has got more awareness than you. Is there some sort of like roadmap? Is that basically what you're giving people to help them to help themselves? Is that fair to say? Or how would you describe it?
For my coaching?
Yes, yeah, like so to help them propel forward.
I got you. So there are, as far as the tactics, there's tools, there's systems, accountability, there's all of this given, they walk through all of this. Oftentimes we as the person will come up against our own hang-ups or get stuck or have some sort of belief about, I don't want to post on media because I don't want to be seen as blank. And so like these sorts of beliefs, these sorts of things that inhibit the usage of the tools is the thing where the life coaching comes in. Because if you've ever bought a course online, they give you lots of tools. You basically are buying information. They deliver the information. They walk you through step by step. But one of the things that a lot of courses out there don't provide is personalized coaching. And the coaching is the thing that works with the individual, that works with the person to help them grow, to help them catapult, to help them move through internal obstacles.
Had to do that move. Like,
yeah, isn't that great?
Neil.
He's not here.
Please leave a message after the beep. Beep. I think the personal growth is something that we can all relate to. And if, as an audience member, whether you're watching this live or in replay, let us know what you relate to so that we can continue a conversation that really serves you in the future.
So I think that growing a business in itself is one of the biggest personal development tools, adventures you can go on, because you don't know what it is that you're getting ready to learn. But life always delivers the lessons you need. Life will always give you the next lesson. Or actually, life does it backwards. It gives you the test and then you learn from it. And so it's opposite from school. So as long as you are focused and you realize that you're always having tests given to you and then you get the answers revealed to you later, as long as this is the mindset, you can always keep developing. You can always keep growing. And actually, I was sitting on the dock watching the sunset the other night, and I just kept thinking of this. I was like, well, I wasn't in any coaching program. I didn't have any mentors. I was like, where am I going to continue my personal development journey? And it just dawned on me as the sunset, it dawned on me that I was like, life, I'm living life. This is happening every day. Every event that happens is teaching me something. And if I can pay attention, and it's so funny, my parents are like, you're overthinking this. That's not why she's doing that. That's not what this happened. That's not why you dinged up your car. But see, all of these different things, these are all life. These are lessons. And what is it, the lesson that I learned from it? And by learning the lessons, this is where you grow as a person, and you will never run out of lessons until you run out of life. But you'll always have things delivered to you that you can learn from.
And it doesn't matter which business you're in, whether you're a real estate agent, you can just by luck land a sale of a house just by luck. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, take a moment after the sale to talk with your client and say, hey, what worked for you, what didn't work for you? And it doesn't matter which business you are in, if you don't have the rapport and to be able to say what worked, what didn't work, and to be able to reflect and learn from every individual transaction, then you're going to just rely on luck. And you need, I believe every person needs the fortitude to be able to ask for feedback on how it was. So I know I do all the time, ask so that I can grow as an individual, because otherwise I've got a great ego and it loves to tell me how great I am. And when I could actually be terrible at something because I don't allow feedback in.
Oh, great point, Neil. Yeah, yeah, he. And if you can relate to Neil, please let us know. I think with those lessons, mulling things over, we can plant seeds for our future, right? And as those seeds grow from those lessons of past, we can. I want to do it again, catapult forward in the direction of choice. I'm just going to be doing that all day now. I'm going to get my seed up. I'll be like, yeah.
And what I just in the last 6 weeks, I have had a death, a family member being incarcerated. I almost lost my dad. So to me, it just brought forth and drilled down that life is short, and I personally want to add urgency. And I am encouraging, if you're listening to this and you want to do something, I encourage you to add some urgency into your life. You may still have 100 years of lifespan into it, but go out and get those things off your bucket list. If you want to be in business, short circuit it, make it happen quick by taking a course. Learn how to catapult your life. Get at it. Don't wait. Just go and do it.
Yeah, 100%. You said it. You said it. I mean, you're delivering that mindset. Exactly. I love all that message. You just get out there and do it. Because if you think about how your body feels right now, if you think about this current moment, this moment is the only reality. Like right now is the only time you'll ever live in. It's right now. And it's forever unfolding moments of now.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm going to say, just do it. Tell us about this, Kat. Just if you're listening to this on live or replay, just do it.
Yes. Awesome. I love that graphic that you guys tossed up there. So I run a weekly training about how to get leads online through content funnels. And it's all without a huge following, without a paid ad, without paid ads paying for leads or posting every day. And you can come watch this training. It's geared for real estate agents. However, even if you are a coach or any other kind of business owner who's interested in social media, you're going to learn a lot of very actionable techniques. And the cool thing, I know this is the buzz on the online world, is that we even have AI methods that I've started teaching my agents in order to lighten the load on their content creation.
Yeah, AI is interesting, isn't it? It's next level stuff that's helping us to create better content. We're just utilizing AI. It's a step in the right direction, but when you use it and then edit it from there and really add your own flavor, it makes such a difference. So I think like those weird marketing hacks that you've got to share, there's so much gold in there, and absolutely implore you to reach out to Kat. She's got an amazing system, and as I said, I've seen some of her testimonials, and absolutely agree with them. Yeah, Kat, if you were just starting out and you had to start, you're starting out from scratch, and you've just, I don't know, maybe joined some lady called Kat Rich's program, and you were implementing things, but you started to doubt yourself because, that old story came back in. What would you gift yourself to propel forward and catapult you again into the future?
Great question. For me personally, the biggest lesson that I learn and forget even now is that the head trash, the thoughts that I'm not good enough, this is not, number one, not productive, and number two, not even true. Because the thing that is true is that it's not about me, my self-worth. It's about skills or the growth that I'm going through. And my advice to my past self and my future self is don't listen to the stuff in your head that's telling you, is trying to hold you back, because you are more than that. And that it is your job to step forward. It is your job. It is your obligation to move forward and grow in order to help others grow. And the amount that I is the amount that my clients can grow.
I absolutely 100% agree with Kat. And the only caveat I would add is know your why. Why the hell are you getting up every day? And when you know why, and it's big, and I believe your why needs to scare the hell right out of you, and just live it.
Oh, love that. And I want to add to that too, because one of the things when I was first in this journey, when I was struggling with my head trash, knowing my why just sounded all elusive. I heard a person asking me, I thought about it, I wrote it on the paper, I had it physical, but it wasn't enough. And I wonder if you can relate. One of the things that really helped me was to really embody what it was that was actually happening. Like, what am I smelling at the time? What am I feeling? What am I like touching and feeling, and what am I feeling? There's so many ways that we can really embody our future and bring it from a page to our heart, so we can really make the changes that will help us to grow and evolve in ways that we want, from the seeds that we've planted, from the lessons that we've acquired, right? Like, it's this big, huge cycle that helps us to grow in so many ways. Neil, I know that you have grown in so many ways. I know that you're a man of many talents, and that you've helped people just to be fulfilled and uplift in so many ways over the years. What's something that you're currently working on that can help others to propel themselves forward?
Well, let's go back to, currently, I believe that we need to capture our thoughts and just capture them in their raw form. And I've created a 30-day gratitude journal, because I believe when you're grateful for life, and even the smallest things, like this, an hour ago, I was grateful for the fresh water that I had used to brush my teeth. I was grateful for the new toothbrush that I had used. And when we become grateful for even the littlest things, I believe life becomes simpler. So if you want to jump, if you're looking for a journal, just jump onto my my website, and you can get a 30-day PDF for free. But even though it's free, everybody knows that you're going to put me on a mailing list, and I'm going, yes, but that's okay, because with all mailing lists, you can unsubscribe at any time. I encourage you to come and get the gratitude journal. And if what I'm sharing with you weekly doesn't resonate with you, unsubscribe. But I bet you it will.
It's like you've got a 𝗴𝗲𝗱𝗏 or something in you, mate.
Yeah. Oh, see,
Which, by the way,
I'm working on. I wrote a trilogy 10 years ago. I started it 11 years ago, and I've started on the 4th book. I'm working on the 4th book.
Look out, world.
Yeah.
Is this something that is coming together easily for you, or knowing that, your brain injury in the past, you had to reread your books, how is it that you've you're starting on book number 4 and editing and the like.
This one, the synapses are finally almost working again, and I won't say perfectly, but they're working better than they used to. And this book is just, it's coming through me, and it's not me writing it. It's whatever you believe is a greater source outside of me is writing this book, and I'm just the two-fingered typist.
I love the 2 fingers. And like with those 2 fingers, become a best-selling author. So if you're thinking like, I can't do this because I can't type, or you're thinking for whatever reason, know that you have overcome things in your past before, like, right? Just take note. When we've got that head trash going, I don't know about you guys, but do you guys try to find the opposite? Like if I've got some negative thoughts going on, I'll try to find the opposite and prove myself wrong. And I encourage my clients to do that. Is that something that you guys embody also?
Somewhat, yes, I do. I try to, every time there is one negative thought, try to replace it with two positive thoughts. 2 positive thoughts, because if you can start compounding that and just realize it's not even, the thought is not even real. It's just, I don't know, it's like populating empty space where you had positivity and then but yeah, if you can replace every negative thought with 2 positive ones, that has been what I have started to do to overwrite these thoughts.
And Neil, do you do something similar?
I recognize that I have a positive mission in life, but I also have a shadow mission in life. So I just recognize that little trickster is trying to get its way, and I just love and honor the little trickster in me that is just having a temper tantrum right now, and it really wants its way. And I just go, thank you, and I just honor that, nope, the positive, the mission that I am meant to fulfill has got a higher purpose. I don't make it wrong. I just go, and I just say thank you.
So you thank your tricky trickster. Interesting.
Because if I make it wrong, then it wants to show up even harder. I'll prove to you.
Pick me. Yeah.
So
makes sense.
For me, what works is not making anything wrong. It's just honoring that in this moment, this is what's coming up for me. So I just choose to say thank you and go and do something else. When in the moment that I can recognize it, because it can sometimes take a long time to recognize that it's winning.
Yeah, relatable.
Especially in relationships. We're all in a relationship, and sometimes when you're going off on the wrong way, it's like, oh, this wasn't so good. This is not the way I want to be.
But I imagine there's a bit of trial and error there, as you create those opportunities for yourself. Do I go this way? Oh, look, I can go this way. So many choices on our roadmap of life, right?
Absolutely. And same with Kat's version, trying to find. So she recognizes that she has a negative thought. Now she has to come up with 2 positive. So it's like, what am I going to use?
Nice. And it's good because our brains, whether you know or not, we recognize 9 negatives to the 1 positive. So I love, Kat, that you're introducing 2 positives to the 1 negative, and I challenge you to bring up another few and add it to 9 if you can. Well, let me know. DM me that.
So
it was actually one of the,
Sarah,
it was actually one of the things on my trash. What am I working on? Well, again, with the head trash, one of the things that I'm working on now is helping people with their content. And, I've spoken to best part of 90 plus people this week. I was only going to say 100, but it wasn't quite 100. And a lot of their concerns were coming up. I was asking, so obviously they came up. But a lot of, the things that they're butting up against, it's not going to work. Maybe, just maybe, they will. And if you believe what you believe, then it's going to work. And if you believe maybe it's not going to work, then maybe it won't work. And I'm wondering, like, about our beliefs. Like, our beliefs are so important and so valuable to us that sometimes our beliefs kind of get in the way. So I know we're wrapping up the show, but I know both of you have got information about beliefs. So how do your beliefs help your clients? Kat, let's start with you.
Great, thank you. Wow, it's so inspirational on that question. The beliefs, let's see. I love the beliefs that I give my clients, that I help them move into, is that every time that they feel like they don't want to be too much on their clients, refocus them and show them that, look, you have to be so loud in social media in order to be seen. And that it is your responsibility to be there for your clients so they don't have one of those 87% agents being their agent, somebody who doesn't know how to return phone calls and show up and do all of the pieces that are required in order to be successful. So it's their responsibility to be that 13%.
Nice. And Neil?
I'm looking at the time and I'm going, because this is a rabbit hole of it.
Yes, it is.
And I go with the ultimate. All of my clients, I try to instill and empower them to believe that they are worthy of all of their dreams, no matter how ridiculous society thinks of them. They're worthy of the dreams. They're worthy of pursuing it. If you can dream it, go out and get it. And using Sarah's time, design the life that you desire, not what someone else gives you. Design the life that you desire and just go out and get it.
Oh, and if you want to go out and get it and join me for some confidence in your content creation, you are most welcome to reach out and DM me. We'll be doing a free, I called it a quest, but it's a free challenge that's coming up in July. And I'm looking forward to helping you to put your best foot forward and design the life you desire, as Neil and I both say, because you are worth it, right? In the meantime, I trust that our conversation today has uplifted your soul, has uplifted your spirit, has helped you to remove some head trash and put a smile on your face. I certainly have been wearing a smile. There's been lots of gold information. We would love to hear from you guys. If there is something amazing that you would like to share with us, please get on and let us know. Wow, this was the best. This was the best. And if you would like to get in touch with Kat, please reach out to her via her socials. The information is on your screen right now, and I'm sure she would love to get back to you soon. As we are wrapping up in a minute with moments left of Uplift, Kat, what would you like to leave with our audience?
First of all, you guys have been amazing, amazing hosts. Thank you so much for having me. The last thought that I would want to share with anybody who is considering business, considering this or that, is to make a decision. Make a decision and move forward. Be either right faster or be wrong faster. So many people fall in the death trap chasm of indecision and are never moving forward. At least move in the wrong direction, because that's one more thing that you know doesn't work. As long as you're moving forward, making decisions, you're out of the death trap. You'll be successful.
And Neil?
I'm just going to piggyback on what Kat says. It's your life. And I'm going to use Sarah's line. Design the life that you desire. Just make a choice and move forward with whatever it is and let go of what anybody else can say. Be bold, be brave, be courageous, take a risk, and live your life to the fullest.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to piggyback off both of you and remind you that it's okay to make errors. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to trial things and fail forward. In fact, if you haven't already become friends with Trial and Error, do yourself a favor and go make friends. Like in real life or on socials, both would be preferable, but do you. And as we've mentioned before, design the life you desire. You're worth it. And we look forward to seeing you on Uplift in 2 weeks with our next guest. Until then, take care.
Take care.
Take care.